Queen's Courts, Emily. We've been doing this every Tuesday, on a weekly basis for now for the better part of a month, maybe even longer than a month. I'd have to go back and check the tape here. But this is where we, as the coaches on Tuesday, bring a pick or a stock or a bit of analysis to submit to you, the queen of tackle trading, the women in trading leader here, Emily Mururi. Queen, you let us all leave with our heads last week. Hopefully we can have the same kind of success this week. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Oh.
So Matt and Mark, I will let the queen pick. They both came in same time, Emily.
Well, Mark went first last week and he survived. So I think he's kind of figured out that if he goes first, he has a better chance of surviving.
Yes,
Why do you think I wanted to go first? That was my logic too.
So, Mark, you are not going to trick me again. So I am going to go with Matt because Matt went last.
Thank you. Let's
Oh,
see
wait,
if
why is mine filled with vile, manipulation, but Matt's is honest and genuine, huh?
Because you have trash that makes cash.
Maybe she knows us. That maybe.
Okay.
Fair point there. All right. Okay.
I've known you guys about the same time. Well, no, actually, I've known you longer than I've known Mark. Mark's just a year behind, but I love him just the same.
It starts with me.
Oh, good Lord. We're not having this discussion right now.
Then Tim. Okay, we're not doing it. All right. Okay, so I'm bringing you a nice little blue chip play because we had blue chip Monday, right? Blue chip Monday. Blue chips came back strong. We started seeing blue chips start to wake up a little bit last week. That's why I brought you Facebook, even though we all know how much I despise this company. But you got to like that Facebook. We love that technically, that snapback retracement coming into that run at the 300 breakout. Really like that, right? Like that breakout. Well, let's talk about a company that I do like. And let's talk about Activision. ATVI. Activision has been a little bit out of favor with the market in recent history. It is our favorite gaming company at Tackle Trading. It's been a Tackle 25 component for how many years now, Tim? 5?
I would say 5, but I'd have to check
5.
the
I
tape.
think it's
been
5.
on there a long time. Yeah.
I think it's 5 years now. Activision has been one of our darlings at Tackle Trading, and it's a company that, because of the liquidity, you can do really whatever you want. But that's not what I'm looking at today. I'm looking at a stock that is performing better than its counterparts. We're looking at a stock that I just talked about this a little bit with energy earlier today, talking about how one of the things I've been seeing in this marketplace is traditional head and shoulders formation when they actually break out has been really good trading environments, and that's what we're seeing on Activision here. And so Activision, I'm looking at a scenario where you have a really good, fundamentally driven company that got caught up in the whole, if you guys remember, the whole growth argument that was happening due to the bond market, whereas comms didn't get caught up in general, gaming companies in comms did. When you're looking at EA, for example, another component in the S&P 500 for gaming, you're talking about a company that just got smacked in this environment, just blew up its chart to a just gobbled mess. When you're looking at, say, Take-Two Entertainment, TTWO, another stock within the S&P 500 blue chip type stock, got caught up in that, just blew that chart up, just got absolutely hammered all the way down to the 200. And now it's fighting up against a recovery, against a ton of moving averages, a ton of overhead resistance levels. When you're looking at some of the gaming companies outside of the S&P 500, and you look at some of those international gaming companies that gets everybody so excited about in short-term analysis, like Billy. Billy had a wonderful trend, momentum trend. But what do we know about momentum trends? Momentum comes, momentum fades, momentum falls. And so when you're looking at this trend is completely over. Now it's just a complete and utter mess of any analysis. We all know how much people love ENGA. Nice little, dirty, sexy money type candidate. But again, you're fighting through so much nonsense here on Zigna. And when you're looking at Roblox, we all know how much we're anticipating Roblox from a game perspective, but we haven't even seen, we have a 9 EMA. That's what we have. We have a 9 EMA to analyze. That's it. We don't have all the cluster moving averages. We don't have historical trends. We don't even have an earnings report yet to analyze. We're in no man's land here. And that leaves me coming back to Activision. Activision, unlike its counterparts in the S&P, which both came down to the 200-day moving average, stuck the landing, stuck support, stuck horizontal resistance. And then as you saw the market wake back up, unlike the other gaming companies who are now fighting up against resistance, you have the blue chip, you have the big dog, you have the A+, you have the triple star, you have the diamond company, otherwise known as the blue chip Activision here, breaking out, nothing above it other than the all-time high. You got a trend developing here, and you got a consistent price action on the breakout, unlike you have in the rest of the gaming area of the market, given the fact that Activision held up in the face of that volatility, whereas the other counterparts did not. My pick for you, Queen, is Activision.
Let me get a weekly on that, please.
You're going to like it.
You always get me on the weeklies. You sell me on the daily, then you put on the weekly, and it's like, oh, that's so
That's
beautiful.
because that's how you sell somebody.
I have no argument there. We can see that it really did hold support there, and that whole significant number at 90. I love it. I love it. And I do not have any exposure in the gaming sector right now. So, and it's a tackle 25. So how can I go against that? How can I go against this trend?
The gesture has already started dancing, by the way. My head's fine.
Yeah, you're dancing, I see.
And
your mic survived. So I cannot chop your head off today. So
listen,
you survived,
and since
my
the
friend.
mic survived in Queen's Court, let's take a look at Logitech here. And Logitech, oh man, Logitech gets me excited too.
At earnings. What is earnings?
Well, it's going to help because I have to buy a new Logitech mic after the one I broke
Oh,
last week.
you will help them in that.
Yeah.
All right, so Matt
I love it.
survives from the from the sword to the neck here today. Mark, you want to go next, or do you want to save your best for last?
No, I'll go next. Listen. All right, listen, we played a little Monopoly game on the podcast yesterday where, Emily, do you like Monopoly?
Not so much, but go ahead. Let's see what you got.
I definitely think you should ask a lot of Monopoly questions right now.
Yeah, ask her about the railroads.
Yeah,
let's talk about railroads.
Ask her how many community cards there are.
Let's talk about railroads because my pick is a railroad. Give me UNP. Now, one of the things in analyzing UNP, and there's a lot of things I like. Now, from a technical standpoint, we got a nice little clear air situation to the upside where we have zero resistance to the upside. From a thematic standpoint, I like the railroads a lot. We're heading into a very, very hot economy. When you look at any of the recent economic data, the economic data has been robust. The projections for the economy itself have been robust. There's going to be a lot of activity this year. Now, whenever you have a coming out of recession, whenever you have a hot economy, there are certain sectors, certain areas of the markets that do well. Railroads is one of them. Now, even when the economy wasn't hot, when you zero in on the earnings, so in the midst of the global pandemic meltdown where so many companies were losing money, UNP wasn't. UNP came in with robust earnings given the conditions, robust earnings given the conditions, robust earnings given the conditions. They were making money along the way. A lot of their contracts, a lot of the way they have set up their business, long-term deals, and boy, those railroads, as they've been modernized them to reduce the global carbon footprint, there is a lot to like about railroads in general right now. Industrials are hot. They are going to continue to benefit. Railroads, right there in the midst of it all, there's going to be a lot of goods shipped the rest of the year. There is going to be a very hot economy. Industrials, I think everyone at Tackle Trading loves industrials, and I love the setup. You had a run up let me also say there's a lot of merger and acquisition rumors and activities that can help heat up an area of the market. That's happening with railroads, with the recent Kansas City Southern and the what was it, Canadian? Oh, what was the merger?
Yeah, Canadian National
Canadian
Rail.
Pacific.
Yeah.
That merged together. So so whenever you get also that like merger thing, it's an added bonus. Like you never do anything just because of that, but throw that little added bonus on the fire that can help propel. I love the run up a couple weeks ago. I love the pause because that's what happens, right? You pause. You're not going to run up big, huge, massive green candle week after week. Love this for a position trade for the coming months. I think it plays into all of the themes. It's a company that is going to have robust earnings, and I think you could have just a really, really nice position trade with UNP.
Hey,
and
Chucky?
got pretty clear. Yes.
Very quickly, I know it's your head and your pick, so I don't want to add something that might get your head chopped off. If you don't mind, I do have something to add here, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you. It's your head.
No, we want the best analysis.
We'll see. Oh, we'll see how much you trust me then. Okay. I just want to make one quick point on this to add to a little bit of the fuel you're adding to this. Okay. We're going to be needing to ship a hell of a lot of that government money around this U.S. as we do a $2 trillion infrastructure plan as well. And trains are going to be the primary method of shipping all of those goods from the government to the corporations who build infrastructure.
Mhm.
I think that's an added bonus on top of the analysis for, I did like railroads coming in. They're an infrastructure play, no doubt. The infrastructure is the cherry on top for the railroads, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of cherry on tops on the railroads. And then if you go to a daily chart.
Plus, it's railroads. Who doesn't want to own a railroad? Like,
All right. Enough of this. First of all, let me give you a little bit of history about the Queen, okay? So Queen Elizabeth and her first prime minister, who was Winston Churchill, when he first came to her as her prime minister, he actually, when he came into her chambers, he never sat down and talked to her. He actually stood up because he wanted to give her all the updates quickly and efficiently so she can make a decision and move on about her day, right? So give me a chart on XLI, give me the industrials. So Mark, for future reference, I love, you're not gonna die, you're gonna survive.
Oh, that's all I care about.
Give me your daily.
I thought I was going to die in I thought my head was getting re-chopped off just to go along with Mark there.
Give me a daily chart on that. So Mark, next time start with XLI and then say position trade and then show me the chart of UNP. And you don't have to go around and give me all the other analysis. I have other decisions to make for the rest of the day. So next time you come into my chambers.
So anyways, I like it a lot.
And do not sit down on my seat. Just stand up and give me the details so that I can make a decision.
At least you got compared to Winston Churchill in your dress down.
Hold on, I need to stand up now. I'm going next.
I like it.
But I absolutely love it.
Tim better bring something good here.
I'm just saying. No, I'm very nervous, and I was
going to chop your head off for talking too much, but you actually had a great pick. This is beautiful. I love it.
Well, I will run a risk here and give you a little historical tidbit about railroads, if you'd like it, my queen.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what the queen signifies.
This is how Tim dies.
Just kill him right now. Just kill him right now.
Well, Matt mentioned infrastructure. Did you know that the width of the railroad tires goes all the way back to ancient Rome, when they would make it so that as you...
How do you not cut his head off?
Just kill him now.
Just kill him.
Care. The queen does not care.
I find it really interesting.
The
but
Queen's like, Mark, don't waste my time. Tim's like, hold
And what
my
does
beer.
Tim do? He breaks out the encyclopedia.
Hey, Emily, did you know back in ancient Rome, the
Uh,
railroad cut was like, what do we do?
I don't even
original.
care what pick he has. He's dying.
You're
Just
All right,
so bad.
listen, I was going to go off book. If I'm going to die anyway, I'm going to go off book. We're going to go Best Buy. I was debating coming back with one of the
Oh,
best picks in the market, but I'm going to go with an alternative pick here. Couple things, my queen. Number one, part of this whole everybody's going to get back to business and life. And I got one of my first vaccine shots last week. Increased foot traffic in stores. There's no question it's going to happen through the summer as people want to get out there and do stuff. The video game movement, the technology movement, it's never going away. Best Buy they have transformed their company in recent years to where they do a lot of their sales online, not just in person. So they got a double whammy to benefit from that. The long-term weekly chart is really where the technical analysis needs to start, because we've been consolidating since last August. We've taken 8 months off after a tremendous run to the upside. It now actually is hesitating and stalling here near resistance. I would put the ultimate clear at 125, by the way. If you want to get ultimate technical clarity, you could get more aggressive with a trigger if you want to. This company sports a 17 PE ratio. Okay. It also has increasing sales numbers year over year, including in 2020. During a pandemic, they did not lose their winning streak of increasing sales year over year, increasing EPS year over year. And yes, they have been in a share buyback program for the better part of half of a decade. I like the setup technically. I like the company fundamentally. I think it fits within the theme of what we're moving towards. Yeah, retail company here. Emily, my queen, that's my analysis.
I have a cherry if you want it.
A chair?
Cherry. I have a cherry.
A cherry. I'll take a cherry. A chair is like I'm going to go hang in the gallows. I don't want to do
cherry.
that.
I got a cherry.
Give me a cherry. Give me a cherry. I'll take a cherry. I'll take a cherry.
All right, here's a cherry. We all know that consumers are we know the Fed's the backbone of this stock market, but we know consumers are the backbone of the economy. We now are starting to see how much money they spent online in the pandemic. And part of the pandemic and post-pandemic analysis is going to be the percentage of the $900 billion extra dollars consumers spent online last year. What percentage of that is going to maintain with online spending versus going back to the traditional brick and mortar? With what Best Buy did, not only during the pandemic, but before the pandemic, to focus on online, they're in a really good position to capture that revenue, both the maintenance of the increase of online spend last year, but also while consumers back to the brick and mortar, they are in a
my queen.
Well,
I apologize. I do apologize sincerely.
Let's just end this right
because
now.
because you promised if his mic started going out, he would get his head chopped off.
You know where I'm going, but because he's already survived, you have to take the fall for your.
There you go. It's so beautiful.
This is garbage.
It's so beautiful.
That's just how it goes.
That's what you get, buddy.